along the way and so forth. But we do not. I mean, he tries not to knock the sparring partner out because we need him to. We might need him the next day. So, but he has hurt. He's hurt guys along the way, and he's been in there with some really tough guys.
I remember back when you used to not really like it when he would have a majority of his camp in the Philippines, but you seem content with it this time. What's changed?
We had no choice. He's a senator. He had to go to work, and I mean, sometimes you get out of Senate at 3 o'clock was the earliest, and 8 o'clock was like the latest. No, one night was 10 o'clock, but he went to the gym and we went to work. Like, he's done with his job, and let's go do what he really likes to do.
He do full workouts, even coming in late?
Full workouts every day, late. I did give him 1 day off, and I did give him 1 day off here when we arrived in America because of the jet lag. He had Sunday and Monday off, and we started on Tuesday when we got here. So.
Were there days when his mind seemed somewhere else?
Yeah, we had those days. I asked him, I said, Manny, what happened to the guy that was here yesterday? And I said, he said, well, I'm not a machine. And I says, okay, I'll give you that one. Because he had a great day one day. The next day I was a little disappointed because I wanted another great day, and I didn't get it. And I asked him why, and I told him, I said, I might have to hire a psychiatrist.
That's my phone.
I know.
And then I told him, I'm the psychiatrist. So, but he laughed at me. But he had good days and bad days. But that's part of training camp, though.
Freddie, we saw videos on social media of Pacquiao training this week here in Vegas at the Top Rank Gym. Is that normal to do the 20 minutes he did on the mitts with you? I think it was yesterday for fight week.
Yeah, that's normal. But that was our last workout. And yesterday's workout, it was 20 minutes, but it was we talked a lot in between about how to set it up and what the strategy was in the move and so forth. So when I wanted to distract him and get him to slow down, I talk a lot, and he'll talk back to me, and it'll slow the pace down. So just I didn't want too hard to work, because the day before I think we worked a little bit too hard and showed a little bit too much. So we just had, yesterday was a nice easy day, and that's our last day of gym workout.
He looked enthusiastic during the workout, not just the workout, but he was a little more candid at the press conference as well, as opposed to the last few fights he's had where he was obviously didn't want to be there. He wanted to get the fight on. But why do you think he's shown a little more enthusiasm in the lead up to this fight?
Maybe it's because I accused him of being a machine, and he wants a machine to hurt me. I mean, he's punching the shit out of me, and
good for him.
I mean, he says he's sorry after every time he knows he hurts, or he hurts my shoulder. He says, I'm sorry. I says, I wonder if he's going to say sorry when he hits Jessie Vargas and puts him on his ass.
Hey, Freddie, is Manny motivated at all by what Bob's doing to make this fight possible? The same people who lined up to profit from Manny for a long time are kind of no longer, or maybe they're taking like a wait-and-see approach. Is he motivated by that?
I think he's a little bit motivated by that HBO and Showtime, or the bigger companies, didn't give him a date. But I think he's used that for his own good. I think he has. Yes, I think it's. Why doesn't HBO give me a date? It's just unusual. But I'm sure they have their reasons. Sure. But with Bob, I mean, he's doing this on his own, and we don't have to worry about HBO. I mean, it'll sell. I asked Bob where the advertisement's going to come from and so forth, and he's hired a couple of companies from Fox and ESPN and so forth, and he knows what he's doing. Yeah. I mean, he's the best promoter in the world.
One more on the topic. Any noticeable difference without 24s have been? Obviously, that was like a big lead up to all these Pacquiao fights, and you were always a big part of those shows.
24/7 was a great tool to get fit to advertise fights and so forth, and it's just I think the only why it's not around anymore is because it was the same people over and over again, because it was like the same 7-8 people. You only have so many guys in the business that can sell. And like me and Manny were on that show very early, and then I was on it with Oscar, and so I mean people really get to know me and so forth, and they get to know Manny and the inside a little bit more. It was a great show and a great advertisement, but I just think it's worn out a little bit, so that's why they just do like one show now before the fight, and I think that covers the bases pretty much.
Freddie, I asked Manny the same thing during this week. You know, can't look ahead, but if he gets past Vargas, do you guys want the fight with Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford's been talked about quite a bit. I faced him in his last fight. He's a very, to me, he's like maybe a young Mayweather. He moves very well. He's got great legs. He can move. He's a difficult opponent, yes. But he's not unbeatable. But it's a difficult fight. It's one we really have to really get down. We need a very good game plan to beat him, and I think we have to be at our best to beat him also. And it's something that we're used to and something we can do.
If the Floyd fight never happens, not assuming you guys would want the rematch, but would a win over Terrence Crawford make up for a loss to Floyd Mayweather in a lot of ways?
No, I don't think he's quite that big yet. I mean, he's an up-and-coming fighter. He's still a young guy coming up, and he's more like our opponent in this fight.
Right.
He's a little bit more well-known because they're broadcasting his fights out in Nebraska, and I think that's where he's from, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I forget, Fred.
Just a matter of if anyone wants Dewey Cooper, he just sat down over there. So
The training camp.
There's no one going over there.
The way you had it second camp for this fight, would that be enough for someone like Terrence Crawford or a Mayweather rematch, or would you have to try to get a little bit more time away from the Senate?
We had enough time to get ready for this fight. I think it's okay. And the thing is, we know when the Senate's in or out, so we know when we'd have to schedule that fight to give us the ultimate time to get ready for the fight. I mean, as long as they give me like 8 to 10 weeks, it's plenty of time to get ready for a fight for Manny.
Freddie, is John Molina a suitable opponent for this point in Crawford's career, and how do you see that fight playing out?
I like Crawford in the fight, but you know, he's Molina's showed he's a good fighter also, but it's a good fight. But I really don't think about that career because I don't really have anything to do with either fighter. But it's a good fight. I think it's a fight Crawford probably wins.
Freddie, changing about the subject, I want to know what's your opinion about the new champions that say that they have to wait for a year to prepare for a fight. Do you consider it fair?
Where'd you hear that from?
Vasila Machenko.
I know, he needs a year to get ready to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
That's unusual. He says, well, you need a year?
Who said this?
Lomachenko.
But the thing is, I know that, you know, I know his father's the one who calls the shots in that camp, and his dad's very particular about the way he does. He trained in my gym for his first fight in America, and we got used to him a little bit. You know, first round, left hand only, second round, right hands only, third round, you can throw combinations, but not too many of them. It's very unusual circumstances. Speedy Gonzalez was his sparring partner, and like Speedy was only allowed to use his certain hands in certain rounds and so forth. Maybe a little bit of a different way, but it works. I mean, he's a good fighter, and he's. I think he's a credible fighter. I think he's he's very good at what he does. He has very good footwork.
But now it's very common to hear a champion to say, I need more time to do that fight. And maybe that time is 1 year or a half on.
I don't think fighters are what they used to be. It's a little bit different sport now. And, you know, most champions only fight once or twice a year now. And I say it's hard to be sharp just getting ready for a fight just twice a year. And activities, I think activity would make guys better fighters, but that's just the way it is right now. And
it bothers you?
It's just different. It's just a little bit of a different world right now, boxing.
It makes you angry?
It doesn't make me angry, no, but
It's just the
I mean,
facts.
I can't be mad at it. But the thing is, I mean, I think he's just politely saying he doesn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao because who's going to wait a year? So.
If do you think if Bob actually, if the money was put on the table in front of him, that he would sing a different tune and would take what's there?
I'm not sure. It's again, his dad's in charge, and he has his own methods. I mean, he took after the first 2 years of boxing, he took the kid out of boxing and put him in ballet, and his footwork's unbelievable. It was a good move though. So maybe he's smarter than the rest of us. I don't know.
Is that a competitive fight, realistically, if it did happen at 140 pounds, or is he too small?
I think it's a great fight for Manny and everybody. It's an action fight. It's a good fight, yeah.
He said 135 only.
I know, but I say 140 only.
That's the year.
We don't need a year, though.
You don't.
How much stronger would Manny be at 140 if he was fighting there now?
He's a very good puncher at 140. He's a lot better puncher at 40, I think, than he is at 47, because the guys at 47, by the time they get in the ring, they're weighing like 155, 160. They're just bigger guys, and they can take more damage, and I think that's the main reason why we haven't knocked anyone. Well, not the main reason why we haven't knocked anyone out. Obviously, the religion didn't help us at all, but there's a number of things that all added up.
So we've thrown a few names out there, Crawford, Loma, but if Manny's going to continue on after this fight, what makes the most sense for you? What's the big fight he needs to, what challenge should it be?
I like the Mayweather fight because, that's the one I felt we can do better on. But any one of those guys out there, they're all competitive fighters. And one thing about Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't want to fight anybody that's not going to put a good show on. He wants to fight the best out there. So any one of them, just line them up. We'll be okay with them.
What about the Danny Garcia Keith Thurman win? It seems like that would be a...
That was a great fight. I mean, I think Thurman wins that fight, but I'm not sure. Garcia, I've always liked Garcia for Manny. I've asked for that fight many times, but I think Manny can outbox him pretty easily. But
after they fight each other, it seems like the winner will be a lot bigger name and more viable.
Yeah, it's just who do you think wins?
That one? I would lean towards Thurman too.
Yeah,
He's the favorite.
He's a favorite, yeah. But I mean, we would have, if Thurman was the next opponent, that'd be fine with me. I mean, there's not a person you can name that I wouldn't put me. Triple G is maybe too big, because I mean, let's face it, he's a lot bigger. Does he still fight at 60 or is he 68 now?
He's
60.
60. I mean, by fight time, he's probably 70, 80. So I think he's too big for us. But that's the only guy I would kind of...
Alvarez is too big as well. Do you still feel that Canelo's too big for Manny?
Well, the thing is that we have a weigh-in, and I think the thing is we have to limit how much he can gain after the weigh-in. I think that would be the only cap on that fight. I think that's a great fight for the world. It's a good fight. Yeah.
How does Manny react when he reads the stuff that people write about him? Does it piss him off, or how does he feel about it?
I don't think it pisses him off. He doesn't comment on it too much. He doesn't ever complain about people writing about him. But I know he reads it though, and he's much more. He can read off the computer, and I can't, because I don't know how to run a computer. I don't know what social media is. I mean, my phone, I talk to it, and I can text somebody, and that's all. I mean, don't try to
send you an email.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck email is.
Mail him a letter. We'll give you the address later.
But, and how come you didn't call me back or something like this? What the fuck you talking about? I wish we had the old telephones at home where I can't get a hold of every day. But one thing about the cell phone, I don't like it much, and I'd like to leave it home. But the thing is, you almost can't leave it home, because when my mother gets sick and there's an emergency or something, I gotta have the phone with me at all times. If I forget my phone, I have to turn around and go get it. It's fucking unbelievable. I can't. I hate this world of social media. No, I do.
You sound antisocial.
I'm a little antisocial.
social media can influence the stock of a fighter, maybe make him better than what he is, and then eventually he's exposed or whatnot?
I think you can make him a better seller of pay-per-view and stuff like that. Yes, I mean they can, I'm sure they use it for good advertisement and so forth. But again, I'm not an expert on that, but I'm sure because there's so many people on social media in my life. I mean, you know, I'm in the Philippines and I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for someone to pick me up, and I see like 5 girls sitting over there, and they're all looking at themselves in their cell phones and taking pictures of themselves. And I says, they're not that good looking. What are they fucking doing? I mean, you know, like, give me a fucking break. Like, you want to take a picture of yourself? I've taken one picture, and you know how much I got to pay for that one. So that's the only reason I took that picture. But I did learn how to do it, though.
All right, we good, you guys? All right, Dewey's over there. Don't miss out.